Good morning, good morning. Okay, great. Okay, so thank everybody for tuning in. This Okay, so this is my news stream with my channel. It's news. What I'm trying to bring is reading the news channels, the news articles, for people who don't feel like reading it, or, there's some folks who have limited vision who can't read it. You can actually pass this video on to them, because I'm reading it right off the screen, so that way I'm not fudging anything, nothing is manufactured. So just try to do some pure journalism, bringing you the facts. The first three stories I thought was very interesting. And I left the URL up here at the top for folks that kind of might want to go back and read the article for yourself. And on the side, on the right panel, I have two missing children that we kind of want to be pray for, that they'll find their way home. The first story is Kelsey Chris. She's the former Miss USA. She died jumping from a New York building. The reason why I thought this story was interesting is because another beautiful lady in the same situation, well, she was beautiful. I have to pull it up. I'm sorry, I didn't do my homework. But there's another lady, she was beautiful, and she was found in the same situation like this, where she's jumping from a very high building, where it seems very unlikely to do. If anybody ever been to a high rise, been in a high rise, you understand that you're trying to stay far away from the edge. So this to me sounds foul, like something's in the mix. So hopefully, her situation will be, brought to justice. I'm not saying that beautiful people can't be depressed or some other situation that could have happened, but this just doesn't seem right. But as it reads, it says former Miss USA Kelsey Chris died Sunday morning. Her family and police said she was 30. Chris, who was crowned Miss USA at the beginning of the pandemic in 2019, died after jumping from a building in Manhattan, according to New York City Police Department. In devastation and great sorrow, we share the passing of our beloved Clefsy, and her family said in a statement obtained by CNN. And I'm sorry if I mispronounced her name. Her great light was one that inspired others around the world with her beauty and strength. She cared, she loved, she laughed, and she shined. The former Miss USA winner posted an Instagram photo before her death. May this bring you rest and peace, she wrote along a photo of hers. Chris was an attorney. She sought to help reform America's justice system. She received 3 degrees from 2 universities. Hailing from North Carolina, Chris practiced civil litigation from a law firm and worked to help prisoners who may have been sentenced unjustly get reduced punishment free of charge. Now let me just pause right here. This reminds me of a sister who wrote, I think it's called Modern Day Slavery or something of that sort. She's also a lawyer, and she said she was prompted to write that book because as she was in one of her cases that was going for trial, a guy had approached her, and he was like, if she didn't help him see that something was wrong with the system and help him, deeply get out with all her, with all her might, that he was going to do something to her to where she was going to be in the same situation. And she said because of that, she actually did look into it, and that's when she had discovered, I think she was saying like the I forgot, but we could look it up. It was something called Modern Day Slavery, where the situation involves beautiful women, lawyers, and they're around criminals, and you don't know how, who, and what, but people can find resources when they're trying to do stuff that they ain't got no business doing, criminals. And so we continue down here. It says Chelsea embodied love and served others, whether through her work as an attorney fighting for social justice, as Miss USA, and as the host on Extra. Her statement said, but most importantly, as a daughter, sister, friend, mentor, and colleague, we know her impact will live on. Chris, who was licensed to practice in 2 states, earned her law degree and MBA from Wake Forest University and completed her undergraduate work at the University of South Carolina, where she was a track athlete. I actually went to that school as well, but there are sister schools to this. But when it says MBA, I think they mean to say JD. Anyway, Chris also worked as a correspondent for entertainment news site Extra TV. Our hearts are broken, the company said in a statement. Kelsey was not just a vital part of our show. She was a beloved part of the Extra family and touched the entire staff. Our deepest condolences to all her family and friends. Besides working in law, she operated a blog on fashion, white collar glam for women's workwear, and volunteered for Dress for Success. All right, so this is a great loss. This is very unfortunate, so we praying that the Lord will send a comforter to her family in their time of need. Up next is 3 men died while shoveling snow in New York, Long Island. I think this was very interesting as well. I don't want to butcher the town. SYOSSET. At least 3 deaths related to weekend snowstorm were confirmed on New York's Long Island, according to police. Two men died on Saturday in separate incidents related to shoveling snow in the Long Island town. First responders was called to a home on Barbara Drive just after 2:30 p.m. where a 75-year-old man had collapsed while shoveling snow. Members of the Syosset fire department performed CPR and took the man to a hospital where he was pronounced dead. Several hours later, around 10:40 p.m., first responders was called to a home on Belmont Circle. They found a 53-year-old man unresponsive, lying on his back with a shovel beside him, according to authorities. Firefighters rushed the man to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. Police do not suspect either instance that was criminal in nature. The investigations were ongoing Sunday. The names of the victims were not immediately released by police. A third snowstorm-related death was reported in Kutch, which is about 60 miles of Syosset. A man who police described as elderly fell into a swimming pool while shoveling. Another man was rushed to the hospital in critical condition on Saturday after collapsing while using a snowblower in West Olives. Suffolk County Police said the 70-year-old man experienced cardiac distress and collapsed around 7:30 p.m., authorities said. He was rushed to the hospital. Police on Saturday described his condition as critical but stable. Long Island bore the brunt of the nor'easters, which packed powerful winds and blizzard conditions. Several towns in Suffolk County got more than 2 feet of snow, while parts of Nassau was upwards of 20 inches, according to National Weather Service totals. Officials urge folks to take precaution and frequent breaks while shoveling or snow blowing. Okay, so that's a good well, I didn't have this article up, but this seems like we need to read this one real quick. It says police searching for a man caught on video attacking child inside Manhattan restaurant. All right, this one actually has video, so let's pause the elevator music so we can hear it. And I'm gonna mute my mic.
The video. PD released new video of a man punching a toddler in Midtown Manhattan. A warning for you, the video is disturbing. You see the man holding the child as he entered a restaurant. He placed the child, who police believe is a 1-year-old or maybe even younger, on the ground. The man then punched the toddler and knocked the child to the ground. The man then said what appears to be, "Shut up." Police say this happened yesterday evening on 7th Avenue near Times Square. If you recognize this man, investigators want to hear from you.
Very horrendous. Not for certain if this man is just not equipped to handling kids, or if this is some kind of maybe he's under the influence, or Also, we have man repeatedly stabs, killed mother in Brooklyn home. There was another story out of New York that was like this, where this son killed the mother. She had like 8 kids besides him, and he killed his mother. They said they believe had something to do with drugs. They were immigrants from Africa living in the projects in New York. As this story reads, a man repeatedly stabbed his 61-year-old mother to death in their Brooklyn home Saturday, police and sources said. The woman was knifed at least 15 times in the home on Winona Street near Livbona Ave in East New York about 2:10 p.m., cops said. Police responding to the scene discovered a woman with numerous knife wounds throughout her body, including to her neck, ear, and hands. Medics rushed the woman to Brookdale Hospital, but she couldn't be saved. Cops took the victim's 40-year-old son into custody at the scene. Charges against him were pending Saturday night. Police recovered a knife in the bedroom in the home. Source said the victim's name was withheld pending family notifications. So this is terrible, another terrible situation. I guess, it's too cold and to leave, and people are arguing. So those were our 3 top stories. I have some other stories here just on a lighter note. We're talking about here working with serotonin. People winter depression. These foods can help. Excuse me. Have you ever heard of serotonin? Well, this substance is linked to regulation of moods. It reduces aggression, regulates the sleep cycle, and controls your body temperature, among others. So I'm just going to scroll through this. It says red chili peppers. Now, chili peppers, I like to eat spicy foods during the winter time, but I actually came across an article that read that spicy foods induce dementia. So you may want to be very light with your spicy food. Yogurt against melatonin. I'm sorry, I mispronunciated this word. I haven't had my coffee.
Melancholy.
Melancholy, a feeling of pensive sadness, typically with no obvious cause. Chocolate and serotonin. Chocolate has serotonin. It's like a happy. Serotonin is deals with the brain. I forgot what exactly it does at this moment. Onions are good. Nuts, turkey, coffee, salmon, and its omega-3 acids, milk, eggs, greens, seeds, mushrooms, avocados, olives, legumes, and iron, ginger, coconut, cereals, amaranth, amaranth, rice and oatmeal, green tea against melatonin, turmeric, tuna, oranges and lemons, mango, beer. Beer gives you a lot of carbs, and pineapple. Because of the cold temperatures, I saw here that they were saying in Georgia for the people to go to the shelter. So I was just gonna play this to see what it says. So I'm gonna mute my mic real quick.
glands. I'm Cologuard, a convenient way to screen.
More on the weather. We have a 4.0 earthquake, fatal party bus falls. Los Angeles, as the weekend wraps up, we've round up all the stories you may have missed Saturday and Sunday to prepare you for Monday. So a woman was killed after falling from a party bus on Hollywood Freeway, and then they had an earthquake that rattles parts of San Diego, Riverside counties. Now, also more on the weather, we have Groundhog Day storm to spread snow, ice across 2,000 miles long swath of U.S.
Swath.
A broad strip of area or something, swath. So now we learned a new word. AccuWeather meteorologists are tracking the making of a far-reaching disruptive winter storm, which is forecast to spread a plowable snow and significant icing from the central and southern Rockies to parts of the Northeast this week. Denver, Dallas, and Detroit are among the major metro areas expected to face wintry consequences and potential travel trouble, forecasters say. Winter and spring will be dunking it out the middle of the nation right around the time Punk's Phil makes his highly anticipated forecast on February 2nd, Groundhog Day. So I guess that's the Groundhog name. The clash of seasons will commence as a fresh wave of Arctic air drives southward into the northern plains and warms moist air from the Gulf of Mexico surges northward. An expansive area of snow and ice extended along an approximate 2,000-mile long swath of the country is expected to break out as early as Tuesday night from portions of Colorado and New Mexico to Kansas, Oklahoma, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, and Michigan. By Wednesday night, the wintry hazards are forecast to expand farther south and east into Texas, Arkansas, and part of the lower Ohio Valley. Depending on the exact track of the storm, an extended zone of ice may develop from central Texas extending through the Ohio Valley across areas like Dallas, Little Rock, and Indianapolis could be under a significant ice threat around the middle of this week, AccuWeather meteorologists said. Thank you for that information. It's good to, be well in advance, know that a snowstorm. All right, so I can't see the chat, but I did want to say I wanted to do the rants and rave call in. I have the number and everything, but I didn't test it out yet. So I was hoping I could get up like 3 o'clock in the morning and test it out. I know it sounds kind of corny, or I think I could do like a test, like do a private live and test it that way, because I want to make sure that it works. Because as my audience grow, I want to hear from other people, because talking is very therapeutic. A lot of people think and have been taught or have been conditioned to kind of not express the way they feel. I'm not saying like that's going to perform a miracle, but it may, emotionally and spiritually. Now, I also came across this article, which I believe is interesting. It says doing this at night can boost your memories, new studies say. So it says memory is a critical part of our cognitive function, providing an essential backdrop for learning, thinking, comprehension, and really who we are. However, memory problems are common, especially in those over 65. In fact, 40% of seniors experience some form of age-associated memory impairment, according to a 2002 study in the journal BMJ. Thankfully, there's some good news for those who hope to retain their memory. A simple brain-boosting health habit may help reverse your memory decline. Experts say by doing this one thing at night, you can significantly improve your memory and reap other benefits too. Getting uninterrupted deep sleep can boost your memory, a new study says. And that's what I thought this was going to say. Sleep cleans the brain, and so when you live in areas, or if you're a victim of stalking, you may notice that, like, when you're trying to sleep, it seems like somebody is trying to make sure you're awake. Well, that messes with your memory, and it's easy for me to try to implant false memories and false narratives. So if that, pray before you go to sleep over all of that, because people don't want to get charges like with doing stuff like that, but they will try. So just so you have a FYI to why they do that. Now, scientists are on alert over rising causes caused by Omicron cousin BA.2, and I just don't want to scare people. I just want to stay on the know as it pertains to what's going on. So Chicago, the highly transmissible Omicron variant of the SARS-CoV-2 virus, the most common form of which is known as the BA.1, now accounts for nearly all of the coronavirus infections globally. Although dramatic surges in COVID cases have already peaked in some countries, scientists are now tracking a rise in cases caused by a close cousin known as the BA.2, which is starting to outcompete BA.1 in parts of Europe and Asia. The following is what we know so far about the new subvariant. The Sleeth. I say Sleeth, but I think it's Thief. Sleeth.
Stealth.
I'm sorry, all the way wrong. Stealth. Globally, BA.1 accounted for 98.8% of sequence cases submitted to the public virus tracking database GISAID as of 2025, but several countries are reporting recent increases in the subvariant known as the BA.2, according to the World Health Organization. Then it says, in addition to the BA.1 and 2, the WHO lists two other subvariants under the Omicron umbrella, which is the BA.1.1.529 and the BA.3. All are closely related genetically, but each features mutations that could alter how they behave. So what this is letting us know is that they're seeing different forms of the COVID they're seeing the COVID not only multiply, but they noticing that there's different forms of the COVID. So they saying, like, this is the COVID SARS-2, but now this looks like this is his cousin. Now this looks like this is a different kind of cousin. Now they know what it looks like it's doing now, meaning it's just like multiplying. But in the future, it could lay dormant and do something completely else. I say that because that's just how it works with viruses. They can lay dormant, which they haven't seen this one do, but that doesn't mean that it's not happening. It where something is a virus can lay dormant, and then decades, half a century later, it can kill someone and then spread. The good news is that we do have a vaccine, just like everybody that's in the United States. Everybody who went to public school, and I'm pretty sure private school, had to take immunization shots as an infant for your wear care checkups. This is in addition to those that we getting as adults. So before you know it, kids, before you can go to school, you have to have like your chicken pox shot, your measles, mumps, and rubella shot, and on and on. Well, now it's a COVID shot. And so people who are adamant about not getting it almost fail to connect that understanding there, that as Americans, we have immunization shots that are required. Now, unlike, and this is alleged because I don't have the data right in front of you right now to read it, but this is alleged. In China, they have a countryside. So that's like they suburbs, but they suburbs are looked at as like just living in the woods, technically, wherever you can, and there's no grocery stores, and there's no schools. If it is, it's just too far, so on and so forth. So there's no immunization shots. So, and then a good proportion of the people live on countryside type of living, and obviously having all those people there that's just don't have any kind of shots at all, any kind of immunization shots to immune themselves, created what we have now and what's going on now. So that's just my opinion. It's alleged that the reason why we have the COVID is because China doesn't have immunization shots for their countryside folks, people that live in their wilderness areas. Now, just to go overseas a little bit further, I saw there's a weekend attacks killed dozens in North Nigeria. The reason why I look at Africa is because I know a lot of people don't really care about looking at Africa, but the reason why I look at Africa is because, as we saw with the Jussie Smollett case, a lot of these Africans are smuggled to the States. And unfortunately, some of them could be of quote unquote or alleged bad stock. When they come over here, they in bad stock. All they have to do is pretend to be like that strong, silent type. And then they can start doing wrong things and creating discord amongst us good Black Americans. And it makes us look even worse than we are. You could go on YouTube and look at some of these African little YouTube channels like myself, like that, just regular people want to put it out there. And so I see some of them in Africa just putting it out there, and they coming out very thuggish looking, and we don't want that. We don't need that. We don't need no more thugs, unaccountable people who just want to carry a gun and steal to live. We don't need no Robin Hoods. Okay? We need Poindexters, decent men who care first about themselves, then they could care about women. But this just say gunmen from heavily armed criminal gangs killed dozens of people, including 11 security personnel. In separate attacks in northwest and central Nigeria, government officials said. Northwest and central Nigeria have been terrorized for years by gangs who attack villages, loot, and abduct residents. But the violence and kidnappings have become more widespread. The weekend attacks came shortly after President Muhammadu Buhari called on the army to crack down on gangs known locally as bandits who were recently designated as terrorists by the government. Now, the problem we have recently with the violence in the United States is that you got the pandemic, so people are dying. Then you have food shortages, and then naturally you have a panic. So people are saying, hey man, if we don't have too much longer to live, why am I putting up with so and so, this, that, and the third? And I think that's a lot of what's going on with the violence. People, we're not living cordially together. We're living like, I'm over you and what I say go, and then somebody decides to say, well, let's go. And then there you have it. We get, they get what they ask for. Now, I saw North Korea did another test missile. So let's, I'm going to mute my mic and let's see what's going on with this one.
Tested what's thought to be its most powerful nuclear-capable missile. North Korea confirmed Monday it had tested what's thought to be its most powerful nuclear-capable missile since 2017. It's a move that both the US and South Korea have warned could lead to resumed testing of long-range weapons and nuclear bombs. State media KCNA released these space-based photos of its Hwasong-12 intermediate-range ballistic missile in a test it said was conducted bearing in mind the safety of neighboring countries. South Korea and Japan, however, condemned it as a threat to regional security on Sunday. South Korean President Moon Jae-in said the latest launch brings Pyongyang a step closer to fully scrapping a self-imposed moratorium on its longest-range intercontinental ballistic missiles, which Pyongyang had announced in 2018. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, however, says he is no longer bound by it. Washington shared Seoul's concerns on Sunday, as one senior U.S. official said these latest actions were a means to, quote, increase pressure. That's as Washington has urged Pyongyang to join direct talks with no preconditions. Sunday's launch was the country's 7th missile test in January alone, making it one of the busiest months ever for North Korea's missile program.
Trulicity may help. With once weekly
All right, so
North Korea.
we have rumors of wars and a little bit of a war going over there in Middle East with China wanting that water. So, but we have to be steadfast and immovable people, believing in Christ. All these other nations, we know North Korea don't believe in God. We know that. I mean, well, let me say alleged. Hopefully they do. Africans, we know that they don't believe in God. And I just want to say this. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but anybody that comes from third world and developing countries ever in their entire life try to tell someone that's from a developed country about morals or about law is a fallacy. Reason being is because in Africa they don't even have laws against rape and before you try to say United States need this, that, and the third, I think you definitely need to go back to some of these developing countries and get those laws straightened, because that'll help a lot of what's going on in this world, period. It's awkward that a lot of foreigners come over here to the States and say, oh, you need, your states, United States needs to do this, and United States, you need to do that. And it's awkward because it's like, in your country, you don't even have a law against that. So, what are we talking about here? What are we really talking about? And so they're separating us and making us look worse than then we're fine with making ourselves look bad. We don't need foreigners doing it from developing countries. I thought we all supposed to be cordial here, but it doesn't look like it. Now I wanted to read this. I said I wanted to reach this. I think I wanted to take a break, but we got. Okay. Okay, I got a couple of more things I just wanted to read real quick. Then we'll take a break. We'll look at the missing persons, and then we'll go into our violent crimes. I talk fast, so I have to kind of slow myself down. I don't know why. It's just I always have, even when I was a child. I don't know why. A woman claimed, and this story reads: a woman claims that a gang of male avatars virtually grope her in Meta's metaverse. The Mail on Sunday report. The 430 said she was also verbally harassed by the avatars in Meta Horizon venues. Last month, another woman said she was virtually grouped while working as a beta tester for Meta's Horizon Worlds. The 430 British woman claims she was virtually by by a gang of male avatars in a Meta's metaverse earlier this month. Okay, so according to the Pastel's Medium Post, the avatars touched her character's body inappropriately, made sexual comments, and took shots for several minutes. After trying to flee the virtual world, Patel told the Mail on Sunday that she had to tear off her virtual reality headset to bring it into the ordeal. She told the paper that she had been suffering from anxiety ever since. We're sorry to hear this. So I'm gonna go fast, y'all, just to see what happened. Metaverse person told Insider by email, "We want everyone in the Horizon venue to have a positive experience and easily find a safety tool that can help in situations like this and help us investigate and take action." The spokesperson noted that Patel did not use the platform's important to allow users to block, mute, and report anyone near them. Patel told Insider that she wasn't able to do so quickly enough. Horizon venues should be safe, and we are committed to building it that way. The Meta statement continued: "We continue to make improvements as we learn more about how people interact in these spaces, especially when it comes to helping people report things easily and reliably." So they said that this Horizon venue, it helps people to watch online events together virtually. So this is a tragic, but so I guess just need to know that you could be playing a virtual reality game and get groped. 5 things to know in the next article is 5 things to know for this tax season. Now this came out of Cleveland, Ohio, so each state is going to have a slightly different law. So let's not bank on Cleveland, Ohio's IRS. They may have the worst in the states, alleged. Okay. Tax returns Monday, January. Internal Revenue began accepting tax returns on Monday, January 24th, meaning tax filing season is officially underway. By law, the IRS can't issue refunds for people who are filing with the earned income tax credit or additional tax credit before mid-February. If you receive child tax credit payments in 2021, you'll want to wait to file until you receive your IRS letter 6419, according to the IRS, outlines the total amounts of advanced tax credit payments you should receive in 2021 and the number of qualifying children used to calculate the payments. Those who receive a third stimulus payment need to wait for a letter from the IRS as well, the letter 6475. This letter relates to your third stimulus payments and includes how much money you received in stimulus money in 2021. Unemployment benefits will not come with a tax break this year. Last year, there was a temporary tax break for certain people who received unemployment. This year, jobless benefits received in 2021 will be taxable as taxable income. When should I receive? You should so when should you receive? You should have received it by today, your W-2. Some of them are online. Some organizations have it to where you can print it out online. Now, the deadline to file your taxes for this year is April 18th, 2022. It looks like in Maine and Massachusetts you have until the 19th of April. Now, you can file for free if you make less than $73,000 in 2021. How long will it take to get my money? So they are working in a shortage, and they say that it's just going to, right here it says several weeks longer this year. And it says people who set up direct deposits are also expected to get theirs faster than if you mail it, which could take, a month and a half to 2 months. All right, so that's good information. So for those into the romance side of things, it says 4 major differences between soulmates and life partners. So right here it says people often have people often have misconceptions about what a soulmate really is. Does this mean that you're destined to be together? Is it really fate that's brought you to each other? Will your love last forever or go down in history like Romeo and Juliet? So then what does that make your life partner? Can your life partner also be your soulmate? Or is it a lot of our idea of soulmates based on what you've seen through our television screens and read on the pages of books? First, let's get something absolutely straight by understanding some basic terminology. A soulmate is a person who is aligned to your soul and can change or influence your soul in some way or another. After that lesson has happened, separation usually happens. On the other hand, a life partner is a friend or companion who can lean on and are secure in. You can trust them throughout your entire life. Feelings of love and respect are mutual, and you're both in sync with the needs and wants of the other person. How do major differences between soulmates and life partners manifest? So hold up. So they saying so just to digest this. So the basic terminology, it says a soulmate is a person who is aligned to your soul and can change or influence your soul in some way or another. After that lesson has happened, separation usually happens. Oh, okay. On the other hand, a life partner is a friend or a companion who can lean on and are secure in. You are secure in. You can trust them throughout your entire life. Feelings of love and respect are mutual, and you're both in sync with the needs and wants of the other person. So a life partner sounds almost better than a soulmate, but because a soulmate sounds like they're just temporarily. A life partner sounds like they can also be something that you thought was and it's not. Hi, gracefully. Sorry I can't see my chat. Like I said, I do want to have a call in so people can rant and rave and kind of like they say talking is very therapeutic. So if you ever around people who are like, I just need you to be quiet, just need you to be quiet, they're not on the program, because talking is not only therapeutic with each other, that's similar, experiencing similar things so you can correlate. So what do y'all think about that? Leave me a comment. Soulmate or life partner, which one would you rather have? Because right here it says soulmate is like spiritual connection. Um, so a soulmate knows what you're thinking, whereas like a life partner is just kind of like not a dog, but like a companion. So which one would you rather have, a soulmate or a life partner? This is good to know that it's not like both of those are not the same thing. Okay, so me, I picked this story because I like riding the public transit. Although some places is better than others. So let's see who else rides the bus or whatever. So Angelina Jolie, I like her because her dad is I forgot his name, but he's a good actor. He did this elevator scene that was the best elevator scene in the world. I have to play it for y'all. Oh my goodness. But he's another good actor. Alright, I don't want to mispronunciate her name. She's on Chamber Street with a nice one piece with a collar. Now I love collar shirts and long sleeve shirts and onesies. And she likes the vitamin shop. I went there too to get me some like liquid vitamins, but I didn't like the it wasn't very palatable for me. Rihanna, I guess that's her with the blonde hair. She looks good right there. She light. Michael Douglas, look at him right there with the Scully. Look, Michael Douglas. He did good in what was it called? Fatal Attraction. Come on, that movie was the bomb. They had a lot of backlash. I remember back in the 80s. Whatever was it? I think it was in the 80s when I saw Fatal Attraction with Michael Douglas, and then Drew Barrymore. She was in 51st Dates with Adam Chandler. I wouldn't have been able to tell her, but look, she's just like on the transit. Christina Ricci. I think she's another actress, right? I don't know if I watched, because I don't do a lot of movies. And Zoe, she's another actress, so I definitely would recognize her, but I doubt I would say anything to her. I don't necessarily like her work, but she's a great actress. Jessica Alba, I remember her face. Maybe she was in something like in the Marvel Comics or something movie, but not really. No. Carrie Russell, okay, I've seen her act in a couple of movies. I think she's a good actress because I remember her. Naomi Watts, I know her name, but I don't really know what she acted. Or is she a singer? Okay, Katie Holmes and Suri Cruz. I'm shocked to see that they just in the transit. Carly Cross, Brooklyn Bridge, City Hall Station, and Matthew Broderick. I forgot how to say that name. We got some more. And the last stream I did, it had just dropped before I can get into all the cases. Oh look, Aman. I love Aman. I thought she was like, I know I would never, ever, never, ever would have had recognized her looking like that. She would have had to talk. Because she's from Ethiopia. She's a supermodel. Cynthia Nixon. Drew again. Now, if y'all wonder why people be robbing the subway, be like that, because they just blend in, and you know it could be like that's her lookalike, but you know they don't have any money on them. They can't do anything weird, but you know people used to come in and shoot up the stations and whatnot, so they kind of stopped. All right, one moment. Um, right. So some of these people just look like folks that you are not supposed to be messing with in the subway. But then others, but look like, you know, maybe they should be in the subway. But, you know, some people are from the city and just love getting on the subway from time to time. Next story is about fish oil, and it's the next new snake oil. So I definitely wanted to read this because I've always heard that fish oil was good for like memory and cognitive and mental health. So it says omega-3 fatty acid supplements were once thought to deliver the same cancer-fighting, heart-saving, brain-preserving benefits as real fish. But without the stinky hassle of cooking or eating something many Americans don't cook or eat very much of. That's why when omega-3 dietary supplements hit the U.S. market a few decades ago, people were immediately hooked and supplement manufacturers started pulling in big bucks. The fish oil market has a 2022 projected value of 12.8 billion and is forecast to grow in addition to 6.8% in 10 years to 23.8 billion. Unfortunately, a large and growing body of research from the last decades warns that omega-3 fatty acid supplements may not have a catch. While research in the 90s initially suggested benefits from dietary fish oil supplements, these new studies, including several high-profile reviews published in trusted journals, no longer support many of the other original health claims marketers use to sell their supplements. So if you're taking an omega-3 supplement because you think it prevents heart disease, boosts your brain power, slows the progression of age-related macular degeneration, or stave off prostate cancer, you might want to reconsider. Is fish oil just another form of snake oil? Quite possibly, despite early buy-in from doctors and their respective professional associations. Many are now making an about face on the supplement in terms of recommendations. So that's a wonderful thing, guys. Let's not turn this into something other than being informed that we cannot get nutrients and that we need from vitamin supplements alone. I think maybe in the beginning taking a fish oil pill would be beneficial for someone who don't never want to eat fish, just not going to do it, but they lack the nutrients that fish have. Maybe that supplement is a need for them. But for other people who maybe eat fish once a week or once a month or whatever, twice a month, this supplement, they're saying it's not going to do anything for you. However you take this article, man. The next article is we still have gold in waters. And so if we go to Charlotte, if we go to Charlotte, there's a Reed gold mine. They have water. They have gold in their water. Then if you go to Alaska, there's a Crow Creek. You can try panning there. I would like to go here. So like if we want to go, people want to go somewhere, let's go to South Dakota, Black Hills Forest. It might be black bears. And see if we can find some gold. I mean, that's better than trying to ride, folks. California, American River. California probably the best place to go now because it's should be warm there. Also, Cosumnes River, they have two rivers. Nevada have Rye Patch. Do you think you could recognize gold if you try to pan it out of the river? Because you have to be able to recognize it, because it may not be really shiny. It may look like that. Nevada got it in Rye Patch. There's a Jamestown, California, where you can get gold in the water. Could you imagine drinking water and then you have gold in it? Clear Creek, Colorado. So listen, we can go to Georgia. North Georgia saw American gold rush in 1928. People have long since been hunting there, and Consolidated Gold Mine is a place to go. So it's in Lumpkin County, Georgia. The population is about 6,000, about 7,000 in 2018. So this is a very, very, very small town. So this is one of those towns when you go there, you don't get to just be quiet. You got to introduce yourself and who you are. Other than that, I'm just telling you how it goes from people who maybe are not from the South. That's how you supposed to do it. Don't I don't know why people want to go places, and then just hold their head down and get attitudes with people when they talk. When, they're the ones who people should be getting an attitude with. So it looks like Atlanta is here. So it's closer to look like the Tennessee line. Okay, y'all. That's probably a super de duper drive. That's probably a good drive. But that's interesting. Georgia got some gold in the water. Alaska, Chena River. All right, so 3 hurtful things parents say when their kids are being bullied. If you're a parent, you want to know what to do about bullying in school. It's back in person for many, and your child was placed again with those kids, the mean ones, the glitchy ones, the ones who dictate the terms of how the year will go. So it's kids will be kids, and all kids can be mean. This overlooks the fact that the level of cruelty dealt out by some is markedly different and hurtful. We should wait and see. You're waiting to talk to the teachers, the school, or the parent of a child who treats others this way, hoping time will resolve the problems. Kids need to work it out. What can a parent do anyway? All of these things are untrue. The idea that kids will just figure it out on their own, that they need to do so, has a long, miserable, and misguided history. What they're not factoring in this situation is that some parents have to work because most Americans are living check to check, hand to mouth, and we love to think everybody is living in Hollywood, and Hollywood loves to make it look like, hey, everybody's living like this. But in actuality, it almost feels like the money that the stars have, it's like it's taken from us because of the lifestyles that they live and the way that they feel about people. But what I've noticed is that when a single parent, I mean, you can have both parents in the family, and you can have both parents in the home. Usually the kid doesn't get bullied in that situation, but when it's a single parent, when it's you know we have to be mindful that we do have to fight crime, because if I can't go outside and live, then what's the point of living? So that means if I have to go outside and I have to risk my life, just know that my living wasn't in vain. I don't want to have to go to the grocery store and fight, but then I don't want the next female younger than me to think that she has to go in there to fight, because whatever we don't fix now, it's what we're handing over to the next generation, and it could be multiplied by the time it gets to them. But I think in these situations, yes, that's true. It's good to be proactive. I think that maybe parents a little bit more proactive for the girls than the guys. Kind of feel like guys can maybe bargain it out or whatever. But yeah, you do have to be proactive with these situations and realize that you might meet a parent that's just as aggressive as the child. Usually the apple don't fall too far from the tree. The next story we have is about Marilyn Manson. He allegedly abused Evan Rachel Woods, and she has a documentary where she speaks about her experience. It's called Rising Phoenix Part 1 Don't Fall. Premiere over the weekend at the Sundance Film Festival. And she alleged she was abused by her ex-fiance Marilyn Manson. And it says Wood began working on the project before she publicly named Manson for the first time last year in an Instagram post, stating the horrifically abused her for years. Manson, whose real name is Brian Warner, was previously denied Wood's claim. He also issued the following statement to the filmmakers through his attorney. Warner vehemently denies any and all claims of sexual assault or abuse of anyone. These lurid claims against my client have three things in common. They are all false, alleged to have taken place more than a decade ago, and part of a coordinated attack by former partners and associates of Mr. Warner who have weaponized the otherwise mundane details of his personal life and their consensual relationship into fabricated horror stories. So I guess they're gonna leave the juicy details to the actual documentary. So now, I just want to look at this one because it says there was a storage facility that was some shooting there. This comes out of Las Vegas. Now, these are our violent crimes, so before I go there, I want to actually take a look at the missing persons. Then I just want to do like a 5-minute break and get me something to drink real quick. And then I should be able to go through the other stories in like 30 minutes, if not less. Now, the first one on the top is Zahima Fortel. If I'm mispronouncing her name, please forgive me. She was missing since the past 2 days. She's about 225 pounds. She's about 5'5", with red hair color, brown eyes. She's a black female. She's about 16 years old, and she was last seen at Newport News, Virginia. And it says she may still be in the area of the Autumn Lake Apartments near Roseman Court and Beachmont Drive. Now, if you have any information about Miss Fortel, please don't hesitate to call 911. Go ahead, call 911 or call the Newport News Police Department at 757-928-4100. The next missing is Quard Williams, if I'm pronouncing her name right. Now, she was last seen about 3 months ago on October 21st, 2021 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Her date of birth is November 27, 2010. So she's 11 years old now. Black female, brown hair, brown eyes. So it looked, like black hair, black eyes. So she's 5'2", about 125 pounds. Now, she was last seen wearing a black shirt, blue hoodie, and black pants, and carrying a backpack. She also used the last names Williamsons. Now, if you've seen Ms. Quad, please don't hesitate to call Philadelphia Police Department at 215-686-8477, or you can call 1-800-THE-LOST. So please help us in that aspect and help the family. Alright, so I'm just going to turn up the elevator music and take a 5-minute break so I can get some coffee real quick, and then we can go into the criminal crimes. All right, so I'm back, y'all. I've been on this live for a little while, but I can't see. Okay, so almost an hour and a half, which is kind of hard to watch the replay. But like when you sit and read it, it goes quicker than if you read it aloud. So let's turn down the elevator music. All right, so one person was killed and 2 others were injured during a reported shooting at a storage facility located on 2400 Needles Highway, according to police. The shooting occurred Friday, shortly before 7:50 p.m., and a suspect identified as Manuel Rogers was taken to custody. It says the 2 injured victims were juveniles suffering non-life-threatening injuries and were airlifted to Sunrise Hospital. The identity of the victims who was killed has not yet been released. So it just says the 2 injured victims were hold up. It says Rogers had left his family residence suddenly and went to a local storage facility. While he was there, he shot an adult male in the parking lot for no apparent reason. Shortly after, Rogers' wife and family arrived to check on him when he began shooting at them. Rogers has been charged with open murder and 5 counts of assault with a deadly weapon. So sounds like he just kind of, they holding his head, look like he don't want to hold his head right. So no one knows what happened. People, and the thing is that when people are doing this kind of stuff, I'm surprised that they're not saying anything about fentanyl induced. But they probably think he just flew the coop, you know. It's unfortunate for those that lost their life. This next story says teenagers shot and killed in shooting, and this has come out of Kansas City. Now, this happened to 200 block of South 14th Street around 10:30 p.m. So the location is given, and as you can read right there, is so people that's in that area may want to tread lightly because it's probably a lot of police and probably not the quickest way to get to where you need to go. Officers were called to a location on a shooting call. Upon arrival, they found the teen inside a home who had been shot. The paramedics pronounced him dead on the scene. And apparently that's all they know. Any tips, please call the hotline at 816-474-TIPS. All right, so this is very unfortunate. We are praying for the family in their time of need. Now, we also have a 4-year-old fatally shot inside a vehicle in West Wego. This is out of the Big Easy, that's New Orleans. Now, it says the adults were smoking marijuana in the front seat Saturday night. This happened on January 29th, the Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office said. The tragedy occurred around 10:45 p.m. inside a vehicle parked in the 900 block of Sitwell Lane in the unincorporated West Wego. So 2 adults were smoking marijuana, and the 4-year-old and the younger siblings were in the back. Now, the child was injured not by a hostile act, but by a negligent one. As the adults were smoking, a shot was fired inside the vehicle that struck the victim, causing the fatal injury. The boy was transported to the hospital after deputies were called to the scene, but succumbed to his injuries. So this is unfortunate, and we praying for the family in their time of need. Our investigators are still trying to determine who fired the shot. It's believed to be self-inflicted. It is not believed to be self-inflicted. No arrests have been made. So this is very unfortunate. They were just sitting in the car smoking, and I hate to see people do that. And I'm not going to say that, you know, before, you know, people go into the store, maybe they feel like they need a little bit of medicinal medicine. But, you know, to just shoot at a vehicle is, you know, it's just berserk, and they killed a minor. You know, that's why you don't want to shoot if you don't know who's in that location, you know. Now, unfortunately, a 78-year-old man was shot and killed in the CVS parking lot. This come out of Orlando, Florida. So So this happened around 3:22 p.m. near the intersection of Silver Star Boulevard and North Powell Drive. So he was transported to the hospital where he died. Now they haven't released any information, and the investigation is ongoing. So this is another unfortunate situation, and we're praying for the family in their time of need. In San Antonio, we have 11-year-old girl shot while playing with gun found in an apartment courtyard. Now, unfortunately, she was playing with a gun in the parking complex courtyard. Now, our kids need to know that we're not supposed to be playing with guns. I'm pretty sure at 11 years old, she had a clue of that, and so what deterred her to play with it has probably a little bit to do with parenting. The gun reportedly went off and the girl was hit in the shoulder. She was transported to a local hospital in critical condition. Police say they do not know who was handling the gun or who it belongs to. So, you never know. Somebody might have gave her the gun. And so over here, wait, this wasn't in the roster, but it just came forward. Oh, okay. It seems like it went away. It's up here somewhere. Now, a man fatally hit girlfriend with vehicle after she refused to get inside with him. So this is another very unfortunate situation, because the man hunted down his girlfriend and hit her with his car after she refused to get inside the vehicle with him. Now, Brandon Lewis St. Hours, 37, a resident of the local county of Kingsman. They did not identify the woman, saying they still had to tell her nearest relatives. The female had no pulse and was not breathing, and life-saving measures were attempted on scene and continued during transport to the hospital. Upon arrival to the hospital, the female was declared deceased. Now, detectives said they discovered that someone kicked St. Hours and his girlfriend out of the home on the 4700 block of North Casey Lane because the couple was arguing. The two were asked to leave the residence by a third party at the residence based on the two arguing. Now, this is what I don't like. People don't look at women as a protected class, as like, if there's two people arguing, a male and a female, to just ask them to leave, to the female to leave with the guy. I mean, she would have to be twice his size to be stronger than him. Literally, like height and weight don't count with men and with women for as strength as it pertains to a man's force and a woman's force. The weight really is not going to carry nothing. Not really. It can. It has. You can see people use their weight in that fashion, but this is terrible. That was very negligent for them to make her leave, even though they're both arguing. It's cold anyway, but hey, let's see what happened here. Both subjects left the residence. However, the female refused to get in Brandon's vehicle and walked down from the scene. Brandon drove around looking for the female and ultimately struck her with the vehicle just a short distance from the residence. Brandon then fled the scene and parked his vehicle at another location in an obvious attempt to conceal it. Now, this is terrible. This is so St. Hours they took him to jail for manslaughter by domestic violence and leaving the scene of a fatal accident. And his vehicle is towed and processed right now, and they're going to hold her identification to the next of kin, and we're just praying for the family in their time of need. Now, I wanted to know what was up with this one. It says coming out of Alabama. So she killed another woman's unborn child during an altercation that occurred last week. So people don't know this. You're not supposed to fight pregnant women because if they lose their child, now you're going down for murder. Now, the suspect claims that she was the one that was physically encountered. She was the one trying to protect herself. Now, Turner denies the claim and portrays herself as the victim attacked by her boyfriend and his mother, the woman who lost her child. Turner alleged they jumped her during the January 24th squabble per a protection from abuse request she filed in the Houston County Court on Thursday. So this sounds like, now she has an 8-week child in common, so that's even more worse. She has an infant child, and she was defending herself because she said it says she had a protection request. So let's keep an eye on this one, and we're praying for her. She seems like she probably was innocent. Well, she just doesn't really look like she's into beating pregnant women up. So let's keep our eye on this and pray for her in her time of need, as well as the family, the lost one's family. Also, roughly 100 bags of fentanyl were found in the bedroom of a 13-year-old boy who died from presumed fentanyl exposure at his school. So police recorded about 100 bags. This comes out of Connecticut. It says now they both had the bags all had a similar stamp on them, and he died January 15th, 2 days after he was found unconscious after presumed fentanyl exposure at the Sports and Medical Science Academy. 2 other male students, also 7th graders who came into contact with the fentanyl at the same time, were taken to the hospital and later released. We can confidently say that the fentanyl that caused the overdose was the same fentanyl that located the juvenile's bedroom. That they went ahead and tagged and bagged those. Now, the police found no evidence that anyone other than the child brought the drugs to the school. Now, this is terrible. Now they bringing the fentanyl, up into the school. Seven-year-old accidentally shot by 9-year-old outside Georgia restaurant. So this is also a Chipotle restaurant in northeast of Atlanta. The Snellville Police Department says a 9-year-old accidentally shot a 7-year-old with a firearm that was left inside the vehicle while the adult went inside the restaurant to pick up the food. Now this is sad because most people are trying to carry in their car, and she just probably is gonna get out the car real quick, get the food, and then it just happened that quick. So I definitely feel sorry for this, and praying for those during their time of need. Now, homeless people coming out of Mississippi, they're begging for donations because they're seeing a lot of homeless people dying due to the frigid temperatures. So you definitely want to try to donate wherever you can, because it's very cold and we have children also out here in this cold. Now, another story is a man dies after being shot at a club 706 in Augusta. And authorities say the incident happened Sunday, um, January 30th, around 1:57. The club on Deansbridge Road. The victim is identified as Kevin Xavier Courtney. He's 20. And Courtney was shot at least once, and he was transported to the Augusta Medical Center where he later died. So anybody with any information, definitely want to contact the police and call 911 and let them know if you know anything about this Augusta, Georgia shooting. All right, and we definitely want to pray for this family in their time of need as well. Also, we have 9 killed, including at least 1 child, in chaotic 6-vehicle traffic incident. So now with the weather, and the black ice on the roads, drive slowly, and this is a perfect time to get you some snow tires or some fresh tires that have some good traction so that you can stop. Because when it's ice and you don't notice, you can hydroplane right into someone or into something and hurt someone or yourself very bad. A young child is among the casualties of a major traffic accident that occurred on Saturday afternoon. The accident took place in the North Las Vegas after the driver ran a red light while speeding in a Dodge Challenger. Now, 6 vehicles was involved, ensuing a pileup which took place around 3 p.m. Of the 15 drivers and passengers involved in the crash, 9 were killed, and 1 was left critically injured. This is just very bad. That's why I say, like, when you drive, it's okay to be driving Miss Daisy. It's okay to be that old folky driver where people get behind you and honking their horn. Just act like you pulling over like you about to park, unless you're on the highway, because let those fast people go. Let them go. Let them have that. You never know what somebody wants to do today, And our last story for today is a College Station police Houston man admits to having sex with child he met online. So this is an 18-year-old. He's going to be charged with sexual assault for hooking up with an 11-year-old that he met on the internet. Now, this is very unfortunate that the child felt like she should get up and go meet this guy, but who knows what he said and did to her to get her to go out there like that. Police say they both were naked from the waist down in the back seat of the vehicle where both admit to having sexual intercourse. So now he's on a $12,000 bond, and he was in college, and so now he's in a big situation. All right, so thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you got anything from this, please go ahead and give me a comment. Tell me what you like, what you didn't like, what you like to see more of. Go ahead and partner with me. Cash at me. Support this station. Go ahead and support this channel. I'm just reading the news off to you. It's not fabricated, anything like that. Just read the news off to you so that we could be informed, guys. That's how we decrease crime. We need to be well informed about what's going on so we won't have any kind of fuzzy ideas that may be completely wrong. Also, share this with anybody you think may like. Maybe it's not to your liking. Somebody else that's into the crime news. I want to do some mug shots. I do want to eventually get into doing interviews for this, like the main platform I want to build. It's homegrown, organic. It's a slow build, but it's definitely going to be a solid foundation. So definitely go ahead and partner with me and cash at me at Decrease Crime, one word, as you can see on the screen. And God bless you for those who want to give, but in the spirit, but not able to manifest that giving in the flesh. And that's greatly appreciated for wanting to give, but may not be able to give at this time. go ahead and like this video, give it a thumbs up as well. It'll help the numbers here so other people can get some of this as well. And then go ahead and subscribe so you'll know when the next video is coming, which I should do hopefully within the next 2 days. I know last time I said I'll be back in 2 days, but it was a week, almost a week. But there was a more in-depth story that I want to upload a video, which I'm still working on. And so as soon as I get that out, you'll have it. But in the meantime, stay blessed. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day. Until next time. Thank you for watching Decrease Crime.